about cast something down so it can never get back up again. All right, so you're casting down imaginations. Your imagination works with your stronghold, believe it or not. It gives you a vision of, oh, I can never say, I can't see how I, well, that's your imagination. You have to cast that down so it doesn't get back up again. And you have to actively do it so that it will literally be cast out of your life. All right? And so you cast down imagination and every high thing, anything that exalts itself above the word of God. Okay? Anytime God says, I'm going to supply your need, and the enemy says you don't have enough, you're not good, then he's coming against the word of God. Well, which is greater? What the enemy is saying, the voice of the enemy, or what the word of God has said? See, you have to determine that. See how it all comes to where you have the power? God doesn't ever take away the power that we have. He knew we would need it. That's why he gave us exousia and dunamis, two forms of power, so that we would never be powerless, but we have to learn to use it. And one of the ways you use it is with your words. You got to watch what you're saying, and you got to stop speaking against your own life. All right. Okay. Now, I wanted to pick up just briefly. I don't want to go into a lot of detail in terms of strongholds, but there a lot of traditional things pass through our families, and they're passed down from one generation to the next. And I think that it's crucial to realize, especially, I'm going to say, our culture, because our culture, be it as it is, we come from a background of a whole lot of idolism, idolatry, and occultism, and things of that sort. And even though in America, a lot of that culture follows or comes with you. And I think it's important for us to realize where a lot of the problems that we still are fighting with came from. And a lot of these old, way back in the day practices have survived and lived right up until now. I was reading this book, and it says that there's some 80% of black people that still travel south to consult with family root workers and charmers. And I thought, 80%? I said, how is that possible? When, most of that would be, Christians or believers or, whatever you want to call them. But again, statistics, if you ask people and they tell you, then that's how you make up your statistics, and that's pretty much the truth of it. So there's still the practice of root workers that cast spells and give charms, supposedly curses, and bad luck and sicknesses and all those things to put on people. A lot of that, which I was surprised, and maybe you are too, it's still going on right now. Just as it was then, it is now. The book went on to share that African culture originates from witchcraft. Okay? Witch doctors, the original witch doctors, which are still today functioning. Okay? Charmers and readers and etc. Okay? And it went on to say a large percentage of astrology hotlines and horoscopes are patroned by African American people. Okay, and that includes, I guess, a mixture of both believers and unbelievers, because the percentage is so high. I'm thinking it would have to be a mixture of both. But again, this is what hinders us from moving in the realm of what God has for us. All right? Even most African bookstores, most African American bookstores, they stock their shelves with books on sorcery, Egyptology, spiritism, astrology, and one bookstore right in New Jersey here packs a whole set of Satan's Bibles, okay? Bibles of satanic words and, potions and things of that sort. So, again, I'm sure people don't realize what they're doing when they engage in these types of practices. They don't understand it. As it's been said, if you want to hide something from a people, just put it in, you put it in a book, put it in writing. And a lot of things we engage in without knowing. I share a quick story And this is a very true story about a young woman who wanted to have children, and for years tried, and doctors couldn't find anything wrong with her why she couldn't have children. And a wonderful born again preacher, got involved and started praying with her, and went on a visit to her home. And there in her home sat this beautiful African doll, and just out of curiosity, he says, "Well, where'd you get this doll from? And tell me something about it." Well, she said, "I got it from, an African store, and they have all these beautiful little, articles and things of that sort." And he took it and did some research, and come to find out, it was marked, or considered marked,